and welcome to a brand new season of the Spike Ridgley Show here on WHS-TV. Our show being brought to you all season long by our good friends at Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Dave Sheets, and with me is the head coach of the Massillon Tiger baseball team, Spike Ridgley. Spike, welcome back to the show.
Happy to be here, man. Can't believe it's been 8 months or whatever that's been.
Absolutely. So, Spike, what year is this now for you as the head coach of the Massillon Tigers?
For the Tigers, it's year 9. Year 9, 10th year overall. I had the 1 year at Green before coming.
All right. Your Tigers are off to a 4-1 start so far. We'll talk more about those first 5 later in the show. But first, let's talk about the offseason a little bit and how you put this year's team together.
Yeah, the offseason stuff has really built upon itself the last 9 years. What started off with kind of a vision of a culture that we kind of foresee, from just studying different things. And then having a chance to those first few groups to really start to put it into action. And now, I want to say with Brock's group, he'll be on here soon. Mm-hmm. This is their 3rd year going through it, and it's really started to solidify itself. But we spend a lot of time teaching the culture in the off season, and a way of doing things. And the guys have really latched onto that, and it's something that we believe in. And it's given relentless effort, having competitive excellence, and having effective communication through the group.
I was looking at your roster prior to the show. You have 7 seniors on that roster. How heavy are you leaning on those guys to lead the way for your team?
Very heavily, and it's in different ways. A lot of people have asked about the team this year because it is so much different than last year's team with the graduation. But we've got guys that are maybe starting for us and playing new positions. But we've got a really strong influence. I call it the glue. I mean, these guys are the glue of the team. And not all of them are starting, but they found very productive, important roles that they're playing for us. And the one thing that I'm most impressed with this year's group, and it starts with the seniors, is the selfless approach that we've seen from these guys. It's really made it fun to be around. We were off yesterday with the eclipse day, and it's it's watching the sun being out, and just want to be around them. So just really happy to get back there today and get to see them compete.
I know you count on your assistant coaches at all levels. Mm-hmm. Who do you have helping you out this year?
Yeah. We start with the freshman. It'd be Ken Pryor. He's our head coach, and we have a new guy, Noah Collins. He works over at the intermediate, and I can't say enough about those two. I mean, Ken just sets the culture for that group, and he just handles all the things that come his way, and he's a very positive guy. And Noah will get a chance to learn from a really good guy. And then at the JV level, we got Coach Todich back. It's his 8th year, I believe, with us. He does the same thing, really setting the culture for us at the JV level. And his assistant, we moved up Kelton Reese. Kelton's a teacher here at the high school. I think it's his 2nd year. Mm-hmm. No, 3rd, but his 1st year overall as a teacher. He was an AIS before that. And again, those guys at we call it JV and JVB this year, so we have a JVB. Mm-hmm. I tell them their job is to make sure that they're communicating the culture and that we're doing things the same way at those 2 levels. And those guys do an awesome job with that. And then at the varsity level this year, we got our trainer back, Lee Kuntz, awesome guy to have around. He's been at the major league level for a lot of years, very knowledgeable guy. Coach Merceric is finishing things out this year. His son's a senior. Become a really good friend, like a lot of these guys have. Works the infield stuff for us, and he's coaching 3rd this year, so that'll be a new thing for him. We've got Coach Knight calling pitches. Coach Knight's an intervention specialist here at the high school. And then we brought in a new guy, Zach Catrone. He's one of our first players that have played here for us that are now coaching with us. And it's been a great group. You talk about, I'm really blessed in the fact that most all these guys are teachers in the district. And the guy that's not is a military veteran. So, and Zach played here. Zach's going to school to be a teacher. Mm-hmm. So, it's really neat to be able, it creates a trust level because they've all been sort of trained the same way. And we know what to expect from them. So great group of guys. I'm really lucky to have them around.
Heading into this season, what were your expectations or goals for this team?
A lot of roster turnover, but our expectations don't change. Our expectations are to put together the best possible team that we can with the group that we have. My job is to put them in the best situations to help to utilize their talent, and we but also stay into who we are as a group. We're going to bunt a lot. People know that, but the group has really, we really only have 3 returning guys that have varsity experience. But because of their influence and those guys coaching the kids up along with us, Our expectations don't drop. Now it might take us a little longer to meet that expectation, and we might have some learning moments, which I think we probably will throughout the season. I think for us, we're still trying. We're trying to be that team that is trying to get back into the districts again, like every other team in the county, and just seeing what is the ceiling for this group. That's our job to find what that is, and that's what we're going to try and do.
So here's a similar yet different question. And I know it's only through the first 5 games. Have you seen this team form any kind of an identity up to this point?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the identity of the team right now is they're incredibly selfless. I mean, we've got, because we're so senior heavy, and then we have a lot of younger guys playing too. At any given point, we could have 3 freshmen on the field. So there's more guys in the dugout. And, from being around and doing this at different places for a long time now, that's not always the best recipe for, everybody being happy, if you know what I mean. So, but because of the selfless approach, I think that's really set with me. I know I've said it a few times. That's been really cool to see. And then the other thing is, we've seen 2 or 3 times now where we've played in a fashion where, we could be tough to beat. And then we had the way we played on Saturday, not as much. So we're trying to be consistent. We're trying to find that consistency level in our preparation so that it can translate onto the field.
All right. When we come back, we'll visit with a Tiger player, but first this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
There was a time when 10 miles to the gallon was acceptable. Today's 40-plus mile per gallon cars weren't even in the rearview mirror back then. Of course, this Lennox air conditioner wasn't on the radar either. It's solar ready, the quietest, most energy-efficient air conditioner you can own. It's time to live in the now.
Call Reliable Heating and Cooling for the most advanced technology in heating and air conditioning. When you're ready to live in the now, call Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Thank you to Reliable Heating and Cooling, and welcome back to the Spike Ridgley Show. The Tiger player joining us this week is junior pitcher, catcher, and infielder Brock Palilli. Brock, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Brock, at what age did you start playing baseball, and do you remember who taught you the game?
I started playing baseball probably around the age of 4 or 5. Started in the Massillon Youth League. I'm pretty sure my dad and sister. My sister played softball. I always looked up to her because she played softball, loved the sport. Probably my dad and sister.
All right. Is it safe to say baseball is your favorite sport?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Do you have a favorite major league player that you've kind of grown up watching?
Yadier Molina. I know he retired,
yeah.
But I like to try and make my game as close to his. Had an absolute cannon of an arm. Love catching.
Great. Now, on the roster, you're listed as a pitcher, catcher, and infielder. Your favorite spot?
Catching.
Catching. All right. What is it about catching?
Just love being a part of every play, pretty much. You're talking to the pitcher, and being a pitcher, it also helps being a catcher. You can talk to your pitcher, calm him down. You know what it's like being on the mound in a rough situation.
Now, on the mound, you're considered the Tigers' ace this year. You have 2 wins and a save in the first 5 decisions, first 5 games. What is your mental preparation as you are on the mound that leads to being a successful pitcher?
Let your defense work. You have a great I have a great defense behind me. We'll always let them make the plays. Never trying to strike anybody out. If I get the strikeout, I get the strikeout.
All right. And finally, what kind of goals have you set for yourself for this season, and what kind of goals are there for the team?
I want to win a district championship. I mean, that's the biggest goal I have in my mind. Other than that, not a lot. I just want to win.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your time, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Coach Ridgley will rejoin the program after this message.
Hello, and welcome to the Stark County Humane Society. Today we're going to give you a few pointers when considering adopting a new furry friend. All animals here at the Stark County Humane Society are spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, dewormed, and if old enough, heartworm tested for our canine friends. Adopters will receive a free exam within 2 weeks of adoption at local veterinarian hospitals. We encourage all adopters to take full advantage of this. A one-time adoption fee is required for your new furry friend. When you adopt, you get an awesome adoption packet that includes treats for your new fur baby and savings for you. But this is not where the cost of adoption stops. Did you know the average cost of an animal like a new puppy or kitten can cost up to $500 annually? This includes annual veterinarian visits, preventative care, and everyday supplies like crate, litter, food, toys. But I hope this doesn't scare you away. Adopting an animal is a huge responsibility and a commitment. Please take the time to consider the cost of adopting a new pet into your family today. I hope to see you soon at the Stark County Humane Society. Please visit our website or visit us on social media for more information.
And welcome back to the Spike Ridgley Show. Coach, we just spoke with junior pitcher, catcher, and infielder Brock Palilli in our last segment. How does Brock impact your team both on and off the field?
You know, to start with him is just the way he goes about his schoolwork and how he conducts himself and carries himself and represents our program off the field. I mean, he's a guy that's always working hard in the classroom, gets great grades. He's very respectful around the school. And, you know, it's always cool to hear from his teachers. You know, I know Mr. Kilgore's come to me a couple times from his math class saying what a great job he's doing in there. Those things matter, and they translate into his work ethic and what he's doing on the field as well. You know, and on the field, he's become a strong leader for us, whether it's behind the plate or pitching or you know, batting as well. So he's done a really good job for us. It's been really fun to watch him grow from an 8th grader when I met him to now as a junior. And a funny thing is, I was talking to my wife. I said, you know, we've been here now long enough to where when I first started, Brock was in 2nd grade. So that puts a little perspective on things.
Right, sure. So your Tigers are off to a 4-1 start. You have wins over Northwest, Dover, Central Catholic, and Akron Ellet. Your only loss was to Glen Oak in extra innings. How would you summarize your team's play through those first 5 games?
Yeah, like I said a little bit ago, I think if you look at the first, which ironically with an inexperienced group, if you look at the first 4 games, we played really well. I mean, in all 4 games, just clean defense, pitched really well, and it helps. You know, it helps because the weather allowed for Brock to be able to pitch in 3 of those games. You know, that's not always going to happen. But I just was really pleased with how we looked early. And then we had a few days off practice. There's no excuse there. We have the best facility in Ohio to practice in. We went out Saturday and just didn't play as well against Ellet. Made a few mistakes base running wise, had a couple of defensive miscues. And we're excited to get back out there today and try to correct those and try to get better.
Now, as we record this show on Tuesday, you're scheduled to play a home-and-home with McKinley. First game tonight at home at the Duck. And what can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
It's a really well-coached team. I mean, Zach Zelmer was federally Coach of the Year last year, and it's easy to see why. They got a lot of excitement around baseball over there right now with the new facility, with the upgrades at Munson, the hitting facility they got out there. But when you play one of his teams, they are always incredibly well coached. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to make all their defensive plays. They're going to be able to put a bunt down when they need to put a bunt down. And they've got some big wins already. I know they were able to beat Green, who we have a ton of respect for, a couple of weeks ago. And then I want to say they went extra innings with Hoover. So, you know, they're right there with everybody else. We respect them a bunch, and we know we're going to have to play well to be able to win tonight.
Then on Friday, you come home to face Firestone. What do you know about the Falcons?
Don't know as much about them. We've been canceled probably 3 times with them already. You know, I think I want to say we've split with them since we played them. We beat them a few years ago. They came down 2 years ago and beat us. Well-coached team. You know, I want to say it's them versus Ellet a lot for the city championship up in Akron. So, again, it's another chance for us to get out and try to get better.
And then you mentioned Green. That'll be your opponent on Saturday. You play up there against the Bulldogs. Again, they've had some really good teams recently.
Yeah, John does a great job with those guys. You know, they've been in the districts a bunch in the last 5 years, and it'll be a tough opponent for us. And they're always right there in the Federal League as well. So I know they have one really good player right now. He's going to Ohio State. I want to say his shortstop. His name's slipping my mind right now. But they've got a good group. They'll be well coached, and we'll have to. You know, it's going to be a good week for us to find out where we're at.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck this week, and we'll look forward to the show next week.
Appreciate it.
All right. As we wrap up our first show of the new season, we want to thank Spike Ridgley and junior pitcher, catcher, and infielder Brock Palilli for joining us. Thanks again to our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm Dave Sheets, your host, and thank you for watching, and as always, go Tigers.